This is the film's story of a girl who was teased because she was not beautiful or had a deficiency. Even that girl transforms into a murderer from an ordinary human and kills everyone who ever made fun of her. That girl was always aware of her deficiency. As a result, we will see her transformation from an ordinary girl into an insane murderer. Here, we see the main character of the film, a pretty girl named Mendy, who has a long nose. Nobody likes it, including her, but even then she was courageous that she doesn't feel any deficiency in her. This is what others don't like. That's why they make her realize of her deficiency again and again while making her fun. Mendy was getting ready for her office party. Here her proudy boss has called her all workers. Now they go to a club for a party, and when Mendy arrives her colleagues start making fun of her. She was ignoring them after it. They were given drinks in large glasses now because of having a long nose. Mendy says to the waitress to bring drink in small glass. In this I will feel difficulty to have it. Instead of hearing her, the waitress starts laughing at her nose and says while making fun of her that we don't have small glasses and what we can do if you have a long nose? You have to drink in it. She leaves after saying this, and after all this Mendy was calm and handling herself. She drinks with the large glass. Her friend pats her head while joking and the drink falls on Mendy's clothes and she goes to washroom for cleaning it. Her colleagues arrive there and make fun of her and didn't leave any single chance to tease her in different ways. She gets irritated and doesn't even want to go home. She was feeling the same will happen to her in home, and she goes to her sister who already knows her worries and takes care of Mendy and never make fun of her. And she says if you want we can do your nose surgery and I can make you meet an excellent and reasonable surgeon. Mendy was scared of surgery, so she returns home while refusing her. She lives with a lady in a rented house, and this lady was like Mendy's boss and always makes fun of her and don't leave any chance to tease her. She is doing the same at this time. Poor Mendy doesn't say anything and leaves to sleep after completing her task. Her life was spending like this while bearing the people's taunt and in worries. She goes to her office and a boy is shown who likes Mendy, but she doesn't know anything about it. As she reaches office her boss calls her. She insults her and asks her to make coffee. Her colleagues start making fun of her when she was making coffee, but she ignores them and leaves after making coffee for her boss. She places the cup in front of her with respect, but even now her boss insults her instead of appreciating her. After this insult she reaches home and the lady who lives with her treats her the same. Being worried of all this, Mendy starts weeping and she finally decides she will do her nose surgery at any cost. The next morning, she goes to her sister and asks her for that surgeon's number and address. Her sister gets shocked to hear this, but then she tells her about the surgeon. Right after it, Mendy reaches the surgeon and he sees her nose and says that it isn't difficult. Your nose can be treated and I will make it fine. Come at night for surgery. She becomes happy to hear this and starts waiting for the night to appear. Here, we discover about the surgeon that he isn't a surgeon or a degree holder but doing all this illegally. As the night appears, Mendy reaches him and he was drinking at that time, but it as his record that he has done successful surgeries and didn't fail in any surgery. He makes Mendy lay on the bed and starts doing her swaggery with wholeheartedly and starts his task while giving her anesthesia. Meanwhile, two goons arrive and start warning the surgeon, and we discover that surgeon was addicted to drink. Due to it, he was in debt, and those evil people were also in them from whom he borrowed money. Now they come to take their money back and the surgeon asks them to leave while giving them a small amount. He says, I will return your money soon, but right now keep it because I have no money except for this, but they ignore him because they want to teach him a lesson. One of them holds the surgeon and the other comes to Mendy, but she was unconscious and doesn't know what is happening to her and in her surroundings. The man removes cloth from her face and starts performing her surgery while taking tools. Even the surgeon forbids him, but he ignores him and removes her nose with a knife. Meanwhile, the other man beats the surgeon a lot, and after doing this they leave. The surgeon somehow handles himself and comes to Mendy to see her, but as he removes the cloth from her face he becomes astonished because the man has removed her nose weirdly. Even he has taken her nose with him. The surgeon gets scared to see this and runs from there while packing his luggage. He was leaving the city because he feels Mendy is no more and the police will court him as the morning appears. Now it's been 2 days that Mendy was faint, but when she comes to her senses she calls the surgeon, but obviously he left and wasn't there, so she stands up and starts finding him here and there. While finding him she comes in front of a mirror and gets shocked and scared to see herself because there was no nose on her face. Then she takes a bandage from a medical box nearby and reaches home while wearing it on her nose. She doesn't know what happened to her and who has done this. She reaches home and asks for help from the lady living with her, but she also gets scared to see her worst condition and asks her to leave the house. Mendy tries to make her understand and beg her to help her, but she wasn't ready to help her and runs from there. Mendy becomes enraged and stabs her knife into her stomach, causing her to die on the spot. Doing this makes Mendy happy because she also made fun of her, and taking her revenge makes her bent upon killing. She was feeling peace but was also furious at the people who has made Mendy's life hell while making her worried and making fun of her, and they were also responsible for her this condition. She was considering her sister responsible for her this condition because she has sent her to that surgeon, and because of being unconscious she don't know who has made her condition like this. Mendy moves to her sister's house where she was taking a shower, but Mendy makes her faint, and when she awakes she makes her sister sees the mirror and says, "Look, I have ruined your face today, while remove it in your face that you have done to me." Saying this she twirls her sister's head. Due to it, her neck bone gets broken and she dies immediately. Doing this, Mendy leaves from there now because she has ended her sister and the lady living with her. That's why she has no place to live. The police will suspect her whether she lives there or not, and she will be apprehended either way. She moves to a park for spending a night and sleeps after drinking. The next morning she awakes and finds many people in front. Firstly, she gets scared and then asks them who are they? They say, "We are thieves and we have brought you here." Actually, they took pity while seeing Mendy's condition and they want to help her. Here, they ask Mendy a lot of questions on it. Mendy tells them everything. Later, they give her a mask and wearing it, Mendy feels happy. Then she leaves happily while jumping like a kid without saying anything. Here she has become an insane killer. The next day, she goes to office while wearing the mask because she has come for her purpose to take revenge, and firstly, she goes to the girl sitting on the counter. She ends her while stabbing pen in her neck and then removes her colleague's face who comes in front of her later. She ends her. The other worker comes in front of her. She stabs the knife in her belly and removes her from her way. Then she moves to the other workers to teach them a lesson who made fun of her. She holds one of them from behind and ends her while hitting her again and again. Stabs knife in a worker from behind. She stabbed the knife deeply. Due to it, the worker dies immediately. Now it was the other worker's turn. She gives her electric shocks from a device on her face and then ends her brutally. She moves to the other cabin and presses a worker's neck while pushing her to the door and ends her. Doing this was making her happy and peaceful as well because they were the people who made fun of her and were responsible for her this condition. If they wouldn't have teased her, she wouldn't go to the surgeon and she wouldn't be in this condition today. Now, after taking revenge from everyone at the office, she moves to the club where everyone made her fun. She ends a man with a wooden stick and also ends others one by one, and she was feeling happy while doing this. Now she has become passionate for ending people that she considers everyone her enemy. Coming out, she ends a man brutally because she was furious that why only beautiful people have importance in this world. People don't let less beautiful people live, which is why she was killing everyone while causing them pain. Because she feels happy when people feel pain, she ties a boy and moves the drill machine in him likewise, gives him a brutal death later, stabs a blade weapon in a man and ends a girl while pushing her face into commode. Besides this, she sharps her knife and ends 2 to 3 more people. Not only this, she was also aiming arrows at people. She has become insane and ruthless that people were running to escape from her. In all this, in order to take revenge, don't know how many people she has ended. Especially pretty girls, she made them ugly that there will be no need to end them because the girls end themselves while watching them into the mirror. She has burned a girl's face and removed someone's face, injures someone's face, or makes someone's face look ugly while designing. Now she has ended all of her enemies, except for one, and that was her boss, because the day she went to end everyone at her office, her boss wasn't there and her boss was on vacation in the forest with her friends. Mendy reaches here and ends one of her boss's friend while stabbing a wooden stick in her belly. Her boss and friend see it and flee, but Mendy quickly grabs and gives her own feet while separating it from the axe to eat. But when she refuses to do this, Mendy separates her neck with the axe. After it, soon she reaches her boss and Mendy wants to give her a brutal death because her boss always made fun of her. Firstly, she ties her hand and feet and then stabs the grass scissors in her belly. As a result, her intestines protrude and she dies in a gruesome manner. She has exceeded the limits of ruthlessness. She starts playing with her intestines, like she starts skipping with them, and it was clear she has become a psychopath killer. She feels different kind of happiness after ending her boss, like she has accomplished a huge mission. After it, she calls a surgeon and the surgeon promises her that she will treat her nose. 3 months passed in the story. Here, Mendy was watching the mirror and her nose was looking pretty because her surgery was successful. She is overjoyed to see this because she no longer has a deficiency. Later, she decides to spend life with the boy who likes him while getting married to him because he liked Mendy even when she wasn't pretty. Mendy happily moves with the boy, and now we discover the bitter truth of this story. Less attractive people do not feel inferior, but the person in front of them makes him feel inferior by making fun of him, and when that person tries to fulfill his deficiency and fails, it becomes dangerous for others. It's as if Mendy, a nice girl, was teased so much that she turned into a psychopath killer, and we don't know how many lives she has taken, which is why we shouldn't criticize anyone's face or appearance. The outcome will be negative for us. This movie story concludes with this message.